So in this lesson, we're going to be investigating visual displays of data. So for almost every statistical question we have in this course, we're going to begin, or at least we should begin, by looking at a graph of our data. We want to get a feel for the data, right? What's the smallest value? What's the largest value? This is going to help me look at the spread of the data. And also what happens in between. So these visual displays, they're going to reveal patterns, other features that can go unnoticed in numerical summaries. So it's difficult to decipher a pattern when just looking at the numbers. So here is a list of quiz scores for a recent statistics quiz. We have 8, 6, 8, 8, 7, 7, 9, 8, 2, 5, and so on. In order to find patterns in this, I'm going to create a graph. I'm going to start with a dot plot. And we begin by putting a horizontal axis and labeling that. And I'm going to put some tick marks on there. And I'm going to go from 0 to 10, which was my quiz score. Started with 0 and went up to 10. So 0, 1, 2. Okay, and so now we begin filling it out. And we're going to put a dot that will represent each quiz score. So for instance, this first one at 8, put a dot. And then I have a 6, another 8, another 8, 7, 7, and so on. So we end up with the following dot plot. Now in practice, we use statistical software to do this. So let me show you what that would look like. So what are we going to look for in this graph? Let's start by looking at the shape, center, spread, and any outliers, any extreme values. So the shape we're looking at, is the graph symmetric, bell-shaped, or skewed one way or the other? The center, where's the middle? The spread, basically just going from smallest to largest. And are there any outliers, any extreme values in this? Okay, for the shape, this graph is roughly symmetric. It is roughly bell-shaped. It is not skewed though, and we will talk more about skewedness in a later lesson. The center, sort of where's the middle? The middle here is around 8. We can see 8 is the mode, the one that occurs most often. It's sort of the peak of my dot plot. And do we have any extreme values? Yes, over there 2, right? And also we need to look for, are there any clusters or gaps in the graph? So here's another graph of a different quiz, possibly quiz 2. It looks like we have 2 clusters, right? We have one cluster around 8, 9, and 10, another one at 0, 1, and 2, with an obvious gap in the middle. And all of this needs to be written up when you're writing reports and you're making observations about data